We don't have to have the answers anymore. Teachers are the ones to facilitate the learning, but we're not there to teach them a particular thing. We want to have them discover that themselves. So a lot of the aha moments are like, they got it. They figured something out because they did it together. They did it as a classroom. The Schools of the Future, it was a 5-year initiative, and it started off at the very beginning, like, what are we going to be doing? What is this all about? Initially, it was more about the technology. What did we not have at our school? So we brought in interactive whiteboards. We brought in MacBooks and iPads, and those things started coming in. But being what we normally do in a classroom, how can we go outside of that traditional classroom to be able to have some of those really hands-on, real-world experiences for our children? A lot of kids don't have a chance to work in a garden. Now they have that in the school. They get a chance to take computers apart and learn what's inside the computer. They put it together again. They have to understand the components of it. So that kind of experience is something that you would not normally find in a classroom setting. Our small school would never have been able to do what we have now. We didn't have the funds for it. We're tuition-based. We wouldn't have been able to purchase any of the technology. The past 5 years have been an astounding growth that we've seen thanks to what HCF has provided for us.
The most exciting thing to me is actually watching the students in the classroom. And I walked into one of the middle school social studies classes, and the teacher was teaching at the interactive whiteboard at the front of the room, and every student had their device open. And my very first thought was, these kids aren't paying any attention to what's being taught. But as I walked around the room and I started looking at what they had on their screen, I realized that they were in groups in Google Docs, collaboratively taking notes. One student would write something they thought that was important, and it would trigger a thought in another student in that group, and they would add on to that thought. And what they ended up with over time was a ready-made study guide for their group that had far more information than any individual would have gotten out of that lesson. And so that online collaboration in real time, that ability to create, to expand on ideas as you're listening to somebody teach, was phenomenal to me. The students we have now at Honganji Mission School would never have had this opportunity if it wasn't for being part of this initiative. I would give a huge thank you to not only the people at HCF that help manage the initiative, but the funders and the donors who are out there that see the need for better educational opportunities.
It's wonderful. I can't imagine going back to what it was like before. It's not going to happen. This is the way we want to go forward with this. So thank you again.